We're so excited to be here and so honored to be able to welcome all of these students from around the world to participate and really get a behind the scenes look at who we are as a company. I hope you find it truly fascinating. So I know you all have been doing, gotten on a few webinars yourselves, and as I have, and the one thing that I always want to know when I get on is, where are these people? Are they at their home? What state? What city? So I always like to share that. So I am right now in Westchester, New York, just about an hour outside of New York City. And I'm broadcasting from my home with my beautiful Maya Romanoff wallpaper behind me. And I also just wanted to say a little bit about me. I am a VP of Business Development here at the company, and I do a little bit of business development, marketing, sales, everything. And probably my biggest claim to fame is I am Joyce's daughter. She is gonna take it away right now, but I believe she is in Chicago.
That's right. Hi. Hi, everybody. I am so excited to be here. To Be Original is one of the most important organizations a company like ours has behind us. I thank Beth Dickstein and her team for putting out in front the problem of copying and stealing original designs that companies like ours work so hard to achieve. So I'm very excited to speak to the students of today and tomorrow, and learning and teaching you about what makes a company unique and how artisanship is a driving force in Maya Romanoff.
Yeah,
go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, and it's almost like Be Originals, the organization was made for us.
Right.
It really is. It's to protect companies like ours that have authentic original design that we want to preserve. So I just want to give you another little glimpse of what we're going to do today. We're going to show you teach you a little bit about the history of the company, where we came from, where we get our inspirations, a lot of photos of this, a short little video in there, and then this is the teaser of it all. You are going to get a behind the scenes live look at our factory, and about 3 different products you will be seeing being made, which will be as the closest thing that we could give you to coming to our studio live. So it's pretty remarkable that I have to always say too, of one of the positives that came out of this whole pandemic that we are in right now is that we are actually in some ways a lot closer with so many more people that we wouldn't have reached.
Yeah, we're reaching a lot more people, and that is very exciting. And we're also developing our material and how we present ourselves to the world. So we're grateful, as I said, to Be Original for giving us this platform. I just want to tell you a little bit about, I am in Skokie, Illinois, which is 20 minutes north of the city. We have a beautiful 40,000 square foot facility that houses our studio, our design department, our executives, and our customer service. And it's a beautiful, very modern facility that we're very proud. It gives us the ability to be a very agile company and also create things that no one else could. Maya started the company. Can I talk about that now?
Yeah. I just wanted to bring one more thing up, is please send us your questions. We love a lot of questions.
And tell us where you are when you know, like if it's Beth from New York or somebody else.
Exactly. And we will have time at the end for question and answers, and ready for them. So, so go ahead, and why don't you talk about this first picture?
Yeah, that's Maya in about 1985, I would say, when he just started the more or less the showroom business, bringing our products to the forefront of the design community. Before that, he was an installation artist and did lovely tie-dyes and clothing.
Yes, and Maya, just so they know the whole name situation, Maya is your late husband. Unfortunately, he passed away 6 years ago, my stepfather. We're family business. And you've been working, you didn't start working for what, 35 years ago?
33 years ago.
33 years ago. So he had just a few years on you.
Yeah, he had a few years, but it was a perfect timing in many ways. It was kismet.
Exactly.
And actually, at this photo right here, the Chicago Sun-Times draping, that's where I actually decided to work for the company, because he invited me to the opening of this. And I said, wow, this is showbiz, I'm in. And that building is now Trump Tower, Trump Hotels, but we won't talk about that. And we will talk about the beauty of this draping. It is, he's been compared to Christo, who just recently passed away. Instead of wrapping the building, he draped it so the building can still be used by the offices and people behind it. And it was very breathtaking. Each panel is at least 5 feet, and I think it's
5 feet wide.
Wide, yeah.
And Maya was a master tie-dyer. He went to India and Japan and all these places right outside of when he finished up at Berkeley, and learned how to tie-dye from the best. And
he became a master dyer by Japanese standards in 1978.
Right. And he started with these full art installations and then moved on to couture. He loved fashion and bringing
hippie fashion.
Fashion.
Yeah, which is very current today.
Yeah, yes, it really is back. I'm not sure if it ever left, but anthropology believes it is back. And this is a picture of Roger Daltrey, for those who don't know, one of the original of The Who. Maya made, you could see this couture costume for him, and this is of a model of, was that cotton or was it a leather?
I think it's leather. Yeah,
leather too. So he also did, because he just loved that whole dyeing process and the whole environment. He was trying to surround himself with this beauty. So he made these full tie-dye environments. This is a little tricky to see. There are two different environments here. And we really
still have them, by the way.
Yes.
And that is Maya sitting in the wicker chair.
Before you knew him, and that is not.
Before I knew. Yeah.
That was his first wife?
Yes, he numbered them.
You know, you were the third.
I was the last.
Yes. And it wasn't.
She got him into art and dyeing and the world and, amazing things. So she was great.
Yeah. And it wasn't until he had a meeting with Jacqueline R. Larson, I'm not sure about what year, but he had decided to expand upon these full environments and fashion. And because actually one of the issues, if anyone knows fashion, it is fast, fast, fast. And so if they want something, it's 2020, they're already asking for 2022 fashions. And Maya was much more about the artistry.
2019. He spent a long time on each piece, and he couldn't take the pressure of this. And Jacqueline R. Larson said, "You do the most amazing work I've ever seen. Why don't you develop a line for for the interior designers and architects?" So he helped him with that, and he started selling that way, wall coverings and textiles, I think about 1981.
Yeah, and Maya was all about the process and the beauty, and not just getting something out there to the world to see. He would not let anything out the door unless it was absolutely perfect in his mind, which is carried us all the way here. So here are some photos of some of the different types of products we have and how you can see them installed. We're going to get to in just a bit that we are a family business. This is my cute little nephew Dylan. And behind him is a
Everybody works in our family.
Everybody.
So, so we make sure that everyone has the same passion and love of handcraft.
This is a handcrafted wall covering in a lobby of a hotel. You can see it, the red on the pillars here. We're going to see that one actually.
That's in Dubai, actually.
We're going to see that being made today, which is
great.
Here is our mother of pearl on a bar. So we do restaurants. This is someone's home. We have our glass beads in the background here. This adorable little baby is sitting in front
of relation, but
no relation to us, not this one. Our wood veneer wall covering in the back, which we'll also see being finished and stained today. So this is interesting. This is our original logo, is the lotus that Maya designed. And it really set the DNA of our company, which is talking about the artistic collaboration.
Let me interject here.
Sure.
It was comprised of the intertwining lotus flowers. And that symbolizes the unity of the company, the art of collaboration, and working together. And that we believe that's the foundation on our DNA on how we achieve success through our artisanship and by the continuity of our employees and artists.
Yes. And one of the things we were talking about just this morning as we were practicing, quite honestly, is this is really it's timeless and it's
current for today.
Right. And exactly. And if we all, in the current situation, if we could think about this as we would all be much calmer and better off, most likely.
No, we need to unify and collaborate with all of the people in the world, especially in the United States.
Yes. So this slide I love too, because I'm a big fan of the tie-dye. This is one of our wall coverings, and this is something that we made for our 50th anniversary. But I also wanted just to remind you, so we have been around for about 52 years now, and we started off our business at primarily for the homes to do exclusive wall coverings, actually couture type wall coverings for people's homes that are sold only through architects and designers. About 25 years ago, we decided, actually, I believe it was my mother's exact words, she didn't want to just be on that one feature wall. She wanted to sort of be everywhere. So we suddenly started opening up ways to go into hotels and guest rooms in the hotels and corridors, retail stores, department stores, restaurants. You saw some of those too. So we love that about us, that we really could be anywhere. And actually,
well, may I interject?
It's important to note too, is that you could find us right now today in Starbucks, in someone's home, or in the Ritz-Carlton, that we really span everywhere. And 50% of everything that we make is made inside of our Chicago studio, which you're going to get a quick look at. The other 50% is very important to us, and those are made from mills around the world, bringing in that collaboration again and some of those extraordinary materials from all over the world, because we believe they make a much
we particularly concentrate on emerging countries to bring industry to these countries that have a skill of handcraft that has been largely ignored. So it's just wonderful that we're able to bring back the craft and to keep the heritage going of the particular company. You'll see more about it.
Yeah.
I will love to say one more thing, because I always do have one more thing, is that in the 90s, all of a sudden, industry, retail, and hotels, primarily restaurants, decided they had to give more in their environments. And they came to look at companies such as ours that have luxury and beauty and uniqueness. And that's how it all began in the 90s, when the hotels primarily wanted to give a more luxury than people live in. Mm-hmm. And it really helped propel the companies such as ours.
Great. It's all very, very true. And it couldn't have been done without the rest of our family and team. So as I mentioned, we are a family business. So this is my mother, this is me, this is my much younger brother, Michael.
He'll love that.
He is president of the company, and David, which we saw in the beginning, he is my brother-in-law, and he is in charge of all of new products. He studied with Maya for many, many years, and responsible.
I think he's with us for 20 years, so it's pretty exciting.
Yes. So here is just a quick shot of our factory tour, which you'll see in a minute. But I have to really set the scene for the rest of the products and things we're going to show you today. We're going to just play a 2.5-minute video that I hope you will enjoy. So stay tuned. Here we go.
See you on the other side.
I never really understood it until I sat in production many years ago and understood that they start out with a blank piece of paper, a 15-yard table, and there's nothing on it. At the end of the day, they have a glorious product. And it's pretty much of a miracle. You know, it's not like working in a factory. It's like working in a creative workshop. Maya was more interested in the process and the journey than he was on making products quickly and get them published quickly. He wanted to do it when it was ready. And that's what he told me when I started working for him. He says, I do handcraft, but it has to be perfect. Love the idea of creating an environment where people were going to make things as a group and as a family. That was his family, was this business. He didn't consider himself the boss. He considered himself sort of a navigator. And I think that the joy for him was to see people and teach people how to make product. From that, we have a legacy, and the legacy is the handmade legacy, the craft. This is what we do in Chicago. You can't bottle it, you can write it down, but it has to be in the hands of the people that are creating product every day.
Look into our factory and a little bit more of our beginnings. Joyce, I just want to mention you are muted, so you want to unmute. And you'll get it. So let's just talk about some of these materials that we use here. So one of the first up is our gold leaf. We love it. We feel it really adds a nice glamour and luxury to our products. We use very, very thin amounts of gold leaf composite, and it's like almost like tin foil, and we're able to apply it to many different types of substrates. Another huge product of ours is glass beads. So you guys are probably all too young to remember the world without flexible glass beads. But this really helped set the stage or change the landscape of the wall covering industry. It was a request we got from a client that they wanted to see flexible glass on the wall, and could we do that? And they knew we were American made and easy in our backyard, basically, so to speak, and we weren't going overseas to come up with new products. And within 6 months, we were able to create these glass beads, which are authentic clear glass beads that are adhered to a paper back. And it's just the color and the clarity of the color of the paper and the clarity of the beads that get the luminosity, that show that luminosity through it when the light hits it. You're going to see this being made today in our factory. But this is one of the products that we're very proud of and helped shape who we are. Another important materials are seashells. So these are rapidly renewable capiche shells that are actually found on the bottom of the ocean. So we're not killing anything to get them. We are just using what is already there. And we find a beautiful way of enhancing them by coloring them in different designs and adhering them again to a flexible wall covering. Our Palomia wood veneers. So we have about 10 to 15 different products in this. I have to say, hands down, this is my favorite product. As you can see, I'm sitting in front of it. This is it's true wood that is taken from a fig tree, a palomia tree. And imagine a corn husk, right? So you put two ends of the log in, and it shaves such a tiny amount of wood off. It's so sheer that you can see through it. It's almost like tissue before it is hand inlaid onto a stronger paper backing. And it's just the change of the grain that we get these beautiful designs. And I love it because it's using authentic real material. You're not doing a faux, and you're not, I'm sorry, but killing an entire tree to do all this mill work that is very labor intensive to put up, and also a lot more trees. We're gonna see this being finished.
And also very expensive to take down, whereas this is a wood veneer wall covering, and you can actually cover columns that you could not do easily on millwork.
It will actually go 3 inches round, and when you wrap it, it's pretty cool. Another really important product or material is our pigments and dyes. We have very beautiful, rich colors. If you ever need us to match anything, we are color experts on this. And they're all water-based. You come into our factory, you're not going to smell any harsh fumes, and we're able
Except
to
people's lunch, cooking in the microwaves.
That's
a lot
right.
of unusual smells.
Right. No bad smells. Just ones that make you hungry. Here are just some hand shots of the wood staining, the flocking of the glass beads and the different patterns that we can do. And this one is of our mother of pearl shells, a different pattern being painted red. So as I mentioned, we do this very old technique, which is hand flocking any different types of materials onto any type of ground in our Chicago studio. So this is our glass. This is a mixture of our glass beads and our mother of pearl. Here we do it with mica flakes and different materials as well. You know, another product that is important to mention for us is our type 2 vinyl. And you're thinking, you know, this is authentic, the original design, we want to be sustainable. And I think it's really important to mention because this is a sustainable product. And it is, one, as you can see, it's absolutely gorgeous. And vinyl is not always our vinyl. I don't know about anybody else's so much, but it's not so bad. It lasts a very long time. It's recycled material, and it uses a very, very small carbon footprint in the world. And because of its durability, it can last much longer and need less replacement and repair, which is also very good for the environment. And we spend I know what you're going to say, Mom. We spend just as much time developing this product as we would a hand-painted product. This is made on a machine with the vinyl.
If we put our name on it, it has to live up to the reputation of luxury and beauty.
Great. I know the next thing you're going to say too. No, I'm just kidding.
It's how pretty you are.
Oh, thanks, Mama. Okay, this is one of our original products that we have made. We're going to see this being made too. This is a craft paper that a brown craft paper that we make beautiful, and it's using the dyes and the pigments, and it's rolled up to dry. And you get these striations across it. This particular product has a cotton stitch throughout, which allows the paint to absorb into the cotton and leave a different type of striation onto the paper. It's very cool.
It gives it a lot of depth.
Yes, it really does. So, we talked a lot about the sustainability and how important it is. And it's really our DNA to the company. This isn't anything new that we're talking about today. It's really who we are and started. And it stems from not just the products and the material, but it's the people, the artisans that we engage, and the process in which we get there is all part of our sustainable story. And Joyce, since you took this picture, you could describe what we're looking at here.
Thank you. Yes, this is one of the most fascinating trips I took looking for a product, and that was at Kathmandu,
Nepal.
In Nepal. And this country has been known to making paper, but very, very small amounts of mud paper that is grown in the Himalayas. That's lacta paper, growing in the Himalayas, and behind it are the little bushes that it comes from. And it was used many years for making, I think 1,000 years, for making the prayer books for monks, which are extremely important in Nepal and extremely important to the world.
Yeah.
So
the same paper is used for their currency as well. No,
that was excuse me. That was in China. It was used for the Chinese currency at one time because it's very strong. And what we did here is we set up a paper making wallpaper company in Nepal, which something they never did before. It's still the only wallpaper company, a manufacturer in Nepal. And that's 2 layers of lacta paper that is made and that's drying in the mountains, and then it comes down and it is liquefied and put onto one other layer, and it's gorgeous.
He's using these chopsticks here to make these honeycomb circles.
Right. And because of the heritage of this paper, we call it meditations. And that design is called Om.
Yes.
And we make sure that we go into these emerging countries and contribute to the heritage of the country and to the economy. So that's very important. In the same factory, we're making true metal tiles. And these are oxidized and burnished copper, aluminum, and what's the other one, Jen? Brass. Aha, I remembered.
And they have a paper backing on it. It's
so they're flexible.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a paraffin finish, so they'll never discolor or oxidize. And right behind me is one of my favorite wall coverings, and it's called braided hemp. And here you see the artisan who is making this product on a wooden loom that originated in India, and they lost their work and took the wooden looms to Nepal, where they continue their making of this braided hemp, which is paper and hemp. And it's gorgeous and it's authentic. As Maya used to say, it has a soul. So we're very proud of that.
Yeah. So, speaking of authenticity and heritage, I love this new shot of us. This is all the different ways that you can be involved at Maya Romanoff. We have people in production, product development, which is, sorry, production and product development, different things. Production is actually making the product. Product development is doing all the testing and coming up with the ideas of ways to bring different materials and colors and textures into a product. We have our showroom staff. We have our salespeople. Someone's got to go out there and make the money for us. We have our client services that, to me, shows they're just great. They will answer any question that you have whatsoever. And warehouse, to stock it, to grade it, to do the quality control to make sure nothing leaves our building without being inspected. And this photo, I do just love. Thank you, David, for putting it in for us. It is very warm. And this is just a snap of some of our workers. And what's really interesting, you might not be able to tell from here, is that we really are a family business. Not just saying, oh, we love everyone like family, and I work with my mother and my brother and everything else. These people are actually, many of them are related to each other. They have their sisters, their brothers, their mothers, and their grandparents working for many generations at our company. So when we
you can't make good handcrafted products unless you have teams that make it constantly, day after day. And the stability of our workforce is the heart of Maya Romanoff. Yes. And the community.
Great. So I'm so excited because I'm here. I know David is standing by in the back to show us the wall covering being made. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the 3 products you're going to see so you have a little bit of context here. So this is our glass beads, which we mentioned. These are flexible glass beads. You're going to see a silver leaf or gold leaf possibly today pushed into the paper. These are the colors in which it comes in. And you're going to really want these up close shots. This is what you're going to see. It's gorgeous. The next product that you're going to see is our wood veneer, which we talked about already. And this is one pattern called chevron. And again, it's just the change of the grain, which you'll see, that gives it that depth. And here's some close-up beautiful shots of that wood grain. And the last product that you will see is called our weathered metals. And this is when that pigment is slathered on and the product is rolled up to dry. That's the way I describe it.
Yeah. We paint him on, okay?
Slathered. They'll see. And
not a hand cream.
What was that?
It's not a hand cream.
It's not a hand cream, correct.
And don't try this at home.
And don't try it at home. So without further ado, David, show us how they are made.
You got it. All right. So if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. There we go. I don't know what's happening here. Okay, there we go. I was frozen for a second. Okay, hi everybody. I'm David Berkowitz, and I'm standing in our production facility, and I'm going to show you a few different products that we produce right here in Skokie, right outside of Chicago. We're going to just flip this camera, and the first product that we're going to show is our bedazzled leaf. This is Bo Pa. She is our studio creative director. Bo, can you wave? Thank you. And the product that's in the center, that is bedazzled leaf. This is what Bo Pa is going to demonstrate for us right now. So go ahead, Bo. You can see she's grabbing some of the gold leaf, the composite leaf, and you can see how thin it actually is. Let me just get real close on that. It's so thin, it will actually disintegrate in her hands as she's working with it. So you can see she's starting to create the inlay, the pattern, and she does this all in her head, but it is a pattern that is going to repeat from panel to panel. So this is the first step in the process, at least right now in our studio. Before this, we had already colored the ground and we had applied an adhesive layer down so that Beaupas can now lay down the leaf. And what's going to happen is this leaf is going to act as a resist. So once she's done applying the leaf, it's going to get what we like to call a bead bath. We're going to actually dip it into a tub of glass beads, and the glass beads are just going to fill in everything around the leaf that has been inlaid. And normally we produce these in 9-foot panels, 3 yards. This particular panel is just a little bit shorter, but for demonstration purposes, we just want to show you how this is working. See if I can get a little closer here. And Beaupas has been doing this for just a few years. Beaupas has actually been with our company for over 35 years. She started out as an assistant to Maya and worked her way up the ranks. She became production manager. She was serving as plant manager at one point. Today, she works as studio creative director, and her primary role is to help us in product development come up with our great new products. She'll actually figure out the techniques to get them done, and then eventually she'll actually train the production team on how to make these products.
David, can you get real close to that foil there real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. You swing around.
Oop, your finger's in the way.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay. Ah, there we go. That's great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and you can see how it just sort of dissolves.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's going to brush it and make sure whatever is stuck is going to be stuck and get the excess out of the way.
Great. And then it goes into the bead bath?
Correct. Now
No.
the metal leaf is it's really, really thin, and it's a composite. It's actually made of copper and aluminum.
Beautiful. I like how it like floats in the air.
Mhm.
And I see the bead bath right next to it. Which we're
Yeah.
gonna-
Here, I'm going to do this just because it's a lot of fun. These little tiny glass beads. These are genuine glass, as Jennifer had mentioned earlier. And we're actually really particular about our glass beads. We're really the first company that started using glass beads for aesthetic purposes. Before us, the primary use of glass beads were for things such as, well, 3M was a big customer and still is a big customer. They use them for creating tape for like road signs on the highway. Also, glass beads are used in the paint industry for grinding up pigments. But when we came to town, we had a whole new purpose for glass beads, and we're very particular about the color of the beads. And that can vary depending on the oxygen level that's in the beads.
And the color, you mean they're to us sort of clear, maybe they have a bluish tint, but when I
Right.
speak to us, they're at the end of the day clear to show what is everything underneath. It's just a small.
Right. And particularly when you're doing a color that's very white like this one, the color of the beads could greatly affect the overall color of the product if it goes a little bit green or blue or gray. So this is the bead bath, and you can see how Beaupas is applying these beads.
Ooh, that's great. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Now, after these beads are applied, there is one more step in this process, and we have a proprietary coating, excuse me, that we apply in our spray booth to lock in the beads. And what this coating does is it dries clear, yet it maintains the flexibility of the product. It also has a fire retardant component built into it. And as I mentioned, it adds the durability, it keeps the beads on. And we're the only company that's really figured out how to really make the beads stick. A lot of our competitors who have made products a little bit like ours, but not nearly like ours, are using much smaller glass beads. So we're using beads that are 1 mil, 2 mil, 3 mil. We're
Great.
combining them together. There, Bopa's holding it up.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Okay. Thank you, Bopa.
Thank you. I want to, thanks, Bo. I want to make sure we have enough time for question and answers too. So
Okay.
let's move on to are we doing wood next?
We're going to do wood.
Oh, I
So
love
I'm walking towards our team of wood painters. And this is, I'm just being careful as I'm walking. This is Hang and Lynn. Hey guys, can you wave? Okay. So they're about to start painting the chevron. And this is, the color is white gold, actually, that they're going to be painting. We always paint in teams of 2.
Could you go up
and
close?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. I'm a little picky. I want to see it.
Of course, we're working with stain, so timing is very important, as is the way the stain is applied down to the wood, because we don't want to leave any marks or stop and start finishes on the substrate. This is the Paulownia wood. It's super thin and flexible.
And we do every single panel like this of the glass and of the wood. So remember, this is 3 feet wide drop. So you can imagine how many of these panels it takes to do an entire room.
I'm just going to come around to the other side.
Great?
There we go. These guys make it look easy. Into the stain is a polyurethane, adds the durability that is important in many of our installations.
Great. And
I just lost an earpiece, so hold on a second. There we go.
oh, you lost an earpiece?
Yeah. Thankfully, there, I'm just putting it back in. Thankfully, it did not fall into any paint. There we go.
That would be good, or else you'd have a painted ear. So,
Right.
but hand painted Maya Romanoff ear. So,
right.
We're always looking for new product ideas. So I see that I love that this is it. They're sponges that we reuse, and we clean them after each use. They're dipped in the bucket of paint, and they're only wearing the masks for the coronavirus.
Right. We're very careful about, I mean, we've been wearing gloves well before this to protect our workers' hands, but everything is water-based here in our studio. And we're very careful about the way we dispose of any of our materials. Everything gets filtered through. Any metallic residues are going to be captured and properly disposed of. Before we finish up with the Ajura, I just want to spin around. So you can see these are called festoon racks, and this is how we dry our product. I'll just go in a little bit tighter. Basically, after we paint a drop, and this table that they're painting on,
look at that.
Spin around one more time. This is a 12-yard length table. So as we paint, and particularly if we're painting an even longer piece, we can then be moving it up onto these racks. And they just keep going and going, and we keep filling. And after letting it dry, usually overnight, we'll roll these up and bring them over to get inspected.
And I love this for 2 reasons. One is, if you're looking at it, that is flat. That is a flat piece of paper. And it's, again, just the change of the grain of how they're inlaying the product. And that is giving it that definition. And when you put it on the wall, it almost looks 3D, but you see them painting it right here. And this is a dark, rich ebony color that you're looking at.
And we haven't specially or particularly lit this. This is just our factory lighting.
Right.
Which is very good lighting. We're very careful when we do the studio. We wanted to make sure lighting was very even throughout the studio, throughout the facility, to make sure that everything is always consistent. But imagine what lighting can do.
Good
to this
lighting.
If you angle it. Right.
Right.
So,
And you know, the one other thing is we just gave away our secrets here. So nobody try this at home, because the product is really finished at this point. There's a protectant into the, a polyurethane protection in the stain itself. And once it's inspected and boxed and labeled and everything, it's good to go right up to your wall. So it dries just hanging up like that. And that's it. Okay, what are we doing here?
now we are going, we're going to watch weathered walls.
The
being
slathering.
produced. This is, yeah, the slathering. This actually, I'm going to go in and just show you the dye
Love this.
right there. This is our candy apple red color, our 244L, which is beautiful. It was on that image that Jennifer had pointed out in the beginning of the presentation on the columns.
And no reason why I happen to be wearing a matching red shirt today either.
No reason at all. No.
I love to coordinate. So this is what I call it. They literally feel like it is a controlled amount. They know how much to put on there, and they're squeegeeing it or slathering it on. Look at that. Nothing is wasted, you'll see, because they're going to move that to the next panel. There we go.
Right. Again, we're painting in teams of 2. Everything is very coordinated, very calculated. We're working with dyes, so it's all about getting it on, timing, getting it off. And what you're going to see that's really interesting in just a moment is how we achieve those horizontal striations in the final product.
And it's what I also find fascinating is that this candy apple red year after year comes up as one of our top 10 best sellers of the product. Not in this product and other products, it's this red that people just love. But this is, get real close to this. So this is this special wrapping, and you can see she's lifting it up every so often. And it's this tight wrap that they're doing that they get those natural striations when they undo it once it dries. And it's not repeatable. It all flows and looks beautiful. There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah, I like to refer to it as sort of like a snowstorm, but a beautiful snowstorm where you have all, they're all individual, but they just work together.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Okay. So I think you might be having some technical difficulties, which couldn't have come at a better time, because we are ready to do some question and answer. So maybe you'll start up. Are we good, David?
There we go. If you can hear me now, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes. And can we just show how that is?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, how do we dry that? We lay it upright.
Right. So what you saw Becky do at the end was after she finished rolling the material, she turned it vertically, and then that's how we get the striations, because that dye is now dripping down. Okay. I think that's just about does it for inside our studio. So I'll turn it over to you, Jen and Joyce.
Thanks, David.
Thanks.
Thank you, David. Yeah, that was absolutely fascinating to watch. And thank you so much for giving us that inside look into the studio.
My
We can
pleasure.
go ahead and turn it over to Q&A now. We have a couple questions. One from Fort Collins, Colorado. What sustainability considerations factor into crafting your wall coverings?
The question again is what sustainability
Considerations factor?
Beginning to end. Really, starts from where the materials are sourced from.
Our base materials are
Our
sourced
base materials, from if it's what type of paper or what type of canvas or linen, whatever the ground, to the where the paints are coming from, where the
even our sponges are natural sponges.
even the
You know, we make sure everything is water-based.
Sorry.
And every part of our recipes are sourced, and every part has to fit our sustainable menu and requirements. So that's why we showed you products that are both beautiful and different, and have a heritage behind it.
That's great. What does the process of finding a new material and experimenting with its properties look like?
That is a longer process than most people think, because and David can definitely chime in here, but it takes us a while to develop a product. We come up with the ideas, probably a lot of ideas, and then we have to try it, and all different combinations.
Well, our inspiration comes from the world itself, from our travels, right? And
Right.
I'm a very, very good shopper. When I find something in a bowl, or something
Like our mother of pearl, why don't you tell
Yeah.
them?
Yes, and we try to look at things that haven't been on the wall before, and that takes time. And also, the designers themselves, you give them a wonderful product, and they say, "Can you do this to it?" So they're always forever tweaking, and the tweaking inspires us and
Yeah.
and sometimes gives us new products, right?
Yeah, and I think what also is important is we
Right.
have a beautiful product, and really something outstanding, but it still has to meet the fire codes. It still has to be able to be installed by thousands of people around the world, and look as good as it is in our factory. So it's not just making a good product, but the entire piece to making it commercially.
Right, from the beginning to the end.
What
Right.
did you always say? People want handcraft, but they don't want it to look homemade.
Crafty. They don't want it to look crafty, right?
Right.
So we give you both the handcraft and the precision of 50 years of making a product consistently.
Absolutely. We have a question from Milan. Thanks for tuning in from Italy.
My favorite city.
How easy is it to maintain and clean the wall coverings, like the ones made from glass beads and seashells?
David, why don't you answer that?
That question.
Sure.
I'm going to let you answer technically, but I have to just jump in. And it is much easier than anyone would think. They look so delicate and not touchable, but they really aren't. You can clean them. David will talk about that. But remember, they're made for the worst case scenario, which to me, is drunk adults in casinos, in hotels. It's not the grandchildren, it's not the home. So if they could withstand all of that testing, I just want to say, because they look so delicate, but they're not. And so David, how do you clean them?
Yeah, with the glass bead product, the things we would first recommend is to just take a can of air and try and blow dust out if you can. You've got a lot of crevices and little valleys in between all the glass. So see if there's loose dirt in there, that's what we would recommend first. The other thing you could do is take a clean cloth, a damp clean cloth, and blot, and try and go in with just a little bit of pressure and pull back.
Who would think you could take honestly, a damp, wet cloth to any wall covering, a handcrafted wall covering? I wouldn't have. And I also think it's one of the things that we did, let's talk about the current time, is so many people are concerned about cleaning everything in their house or everything in their hotel. If someone comes over and touches their wall now because of this horrible thing we've got going on, coronavirus. So what did we do? We took a 1-to-1 bleach solution and Lysol wipes. Let's do a little plug for Lysol. And we tested every single one of our products to see what would happen if someone walks into your home and you're like, oh my gosh, they found out that they have it. Now you want to wash every surface. What if you put this bleach 1-to-1 or this cloth on your wall? What's going to happen to the wallpaper? And I was personally shocked. I think it's about 98% of all of our products had no discoloration, no damage done to it, that they could actually be cleaned that way too. To me, it's just mind-boggling. But
Right.
it says
So I think it's important to note though, no, it's all good. But when, with cleaning, that we recommend soft, clean cloth, like a white, soft, clean cloth, and dabbing is good, or gently wiping. But there's a difference between a sanitizing and disinfecting cleaning approach versus trying to remove a stain, where if you're going in aggressively on a product. Okay.
Right. Question from California. What advice do you have for entrepreneurs who are interested in manufacturing in the United States? What are the challenges and advantages to manufacturing in the US?
Joyce.
Wow, I can answer that, right? There's a lot of challenges. Don't forget, my husband started this company 50 years ago, and the world was a different place. He started in his 2-flat in downtown Chicago, and did it very, very slowly, and got a team of people together. And today it's very difficult. I would say you have to start small but have big ideas. Mm-hmm. And the way you get that is to look at the world and look at what you can do. And now with the advantage of the internet, you can get noticed on a very quick and very large scale. So it's difficult, but I think it could be even easier today. So just do it, put it out there, use your social media, and you'll get attention. Or do a TikTok, which I should be doing, okay?
Absolutely. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for today, but I do have one last question. Joyce, I'll direct this to you. Are there any last words or advice that you have for the students listening today?
Wow, that's a big ask. Mm-hmm. Yes, this is a very exciting world out there. There's a lot of information that is at your fingertips, and there's a lot of research that you can do. But the most important thing is learn about art history. You have to know history in order to be able to develop a taste level, in order to develop your own DNA. Okay, so you have to be able to reflect on the past to make something incredible in the future. So I find that's what I learned, because I knew very little. And my husband, I was fortunate enough he was this brilliant poet and our Renaissance man who taught me about art and travel to Italy, to France, to the United States. Look at the world. And unfortunately, you can look at it through your fingertips, but living it is the most important thing. I want to thank you all and wish you all the best luck. Please reach out to Jennifer, David, myself, anytime. I'm always emailing, as they forced the phone away from me at this time. But we love teaching, and please come to Chicago and see us anytime when it's safe. Be safe, love your fellow man, and let's have a good rest of 2020, which is already remarkable. But thank you all for the opportunity, and good luck.
Thank you, Joyce, and Jennifer and David. I want to say a huge thank you to you as well. This has been an incredible opportunity to get to see inside the studio. So again, thank you. Students, thank you for taking the time to tune in today. If you want to learn more about Maya Romanoff, you can visit their website, mayaromanoff.com, or Instagram at Maya Romanoff. If you want to learn more about Be Original Americas, you can visit our website, beoriginalamerica's.com, or our Instagram at beoriginalusa. Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.